I desperately miss dancing, and the lockdown is becoming more and more unbearable. Less and less bearable, more and more unbearable. I'm also so out of shape because I'm not dancing, and that's my main source of exercise. My brain. Welcome back to another episode of Simp Warfare, where today is going to be about me. I think this whole week, a lot of my content has been centered around me. I wanted to do something simple and easy because for those of you who may not know, I'm going to Liverpool on Friday, so I will not be uploading on Friday, which is why you're getting a Simp Warfare on a Thursday. But what do I mean by today's episode is going to be about me? I think the most surprising thing about being in any way outspoken online about anything ever is the fact that I don't actually have to do anything in order to get in trouble. And I think the biggest marker for this is that this week it's been coming from all sides. Even though I don't feel like I've been particularly controversial this week, I actually made a 20-minute compilation of how Armin Navabi is secretly super wholesome and makes me laugh because he's just fucking hilarious, and I wish more people would understand that and see that and appreciate him for that. Because I think a lot of people have this impression that Armin Navabi is like this super serious, factual, android. But he is like a genuinely nice and funny human being, and I really enjoy his company. So I would strongly encourage you go and watch that 20-minute clip of Armin being wholesome, because he is. I don't agree with everything he says, and I don't feel like that needs to be said, but here I've said it. But aside from all of that, he's super wholesome, so go and check that video out. It's a really good video. It made me laugh. I don't usually recommend my other content, but that one is genuinely funny. We're going to be looking at some hate comments. I feel like every YouTuber has this milestone where they look at their hate comments, but I've never really delved into it before because there isn't a point. I'm generally hated by most people, not just by people who disagree with me, but also people in my own community, because I'm a big mouth and I get in trouble for saying what I feel like needs to be said, and I'm not tribal, so I don't have allegiances to factions and groups. I have allegiances to honesty and growth, and that gets me in fucking trouble with fucking everybody all of the time. So I wanted to look at some criticisms / hate comments that have come towards me this week. Some of them are a little nonsensical, some of them are a little hard to follow, but I mean, are any of us fucking surprised? No. So this is going to be very old school, very minimal effort for me. So there'll be no screenshots on screen. You're just going to have to, so we won't name and shame nobody, because apparently that's the fucking cardinal sin that I frequently commit. So there'll be no names on screen. You're just going to have to take my word for it that I get this hate, but I promise you, like, the mountains of hate that I normally get is just like, it's not even a tip on the iceberg. It's just a fucking snowflake that landed on the iceberg. I just want to make this very clear as well. Hate comments that come from strangers don't really affect me, because I've kind of come to terms with the notion that my family is so severely damaged to me, I'm basically impenetrable to anybody's words. Not saying it's a good thing, but that's genuinely how I feel. Like, when I get hate comments from strangers, it doesn't really get me like how my family gets me, because it's just, they've said way worse shit and it's come from them. Whereas with these people, I don't know them from Adam, and they're saying shit to me, and it's just like, I've never met you, never seen you, I'm pretty sure you have like 3 followers. Like, I don't know what the fuck you want me to do. So we're just going to look at some hate comments. I feel like I've been waffling for 5 minutes. The first one I kind of wanted to talk about is this long comment that some guy, probably, I don't want to sit here and assume genders, but I mean, it was probably some guy, left me on my YouTube video, and this was a video that I did about the hijab, and he was commenting on my sense of dress. So he goes,
"You've gone from basically one extreme to another, when reasonably you should have ended up in the middle. Look at you now, dressed up like one of those feminist dyke butchers at a slut march. I'm not a fan of Islam, but I prefer women who dress modestly and conservatively. You look like you're about to grow out your armpit hair and dye it with rainbow colors.
Now, since I've posted this comment online for the whole world to see, a lot of people have approached me and said, you should grow out your armpit hair and dye it rainbow colors, and no. I'm sorry to disappoint, but I will not be putting bleach on my very thick, dark hair under my arms. Like, I do a lot of uncomfortable things. No, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but I will not be dyeing my armpit hair. And we'll get back to this at the end, because I think that this is a very important thing to highlight. Like, I think a lot of people chalk me up to, like, when I do simple warfare, oh, all you do is talk about Muslims. I really don't. Like, I call everybody and their mom out, because I genuinely think that we in the atheist community, agnostic, fucking free-thinking, I don't know, community, we need to hold each other accountable in the same way that we hold other people accountable, because I don't want shitheads representing me. Like, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, like, I truly believe in religious freedom and the freedom to think and feel and say however you feel and think and say. But if you have a bunch of bad ideas and you're kind of a shit, I don't really want you representing me, and I don't think that that's a bad thing to suggest. And here's a good drop-off point for you to understand that just because you don't like Islam does not mean I will immediately flock to you and agree with you. It doesn't necessarily mean that you've learned or grown at all, that just because you disagree with Islam. I mean, you saying that you don't mind, like, you're not a fan of Islam, but you would prefer if I dress more conservatively or more modestly, even though, you know, that's exactly what Islam says. You're just parroting the same shit. It's the same shit. It's the same shit. It's not even like a different smell or a different color or a different texture. It's the same fucking shit. Like, I do not. There are times where I will dress up for other people, because of course there are. But for the most part, the way that I look and the way that I decide to cover parts of my body and the makeup that I wear and the way I cut my hair and all of that stuff, I do it for myself, because this is where I feel happy, and this is where I feel comfortable, and this is like my idealized self, you know? Like, I like looking like this. It's in the same way that sometimes I don't even cover up my under eyes, or like I let my spots shine through, because I think that that's normal and I like it. It makes me look like a human, you know? I do a lot of things to myself that don't necessarily make me look more human, like shaving my head or parts of my head, but there are other things, like me having under eyes. I really like them, and I know that a lot of people find that weird, that I really like my like tired under eyes, but you know, it's in the same way that I like some of the wrinkles that I have or some of the creases in my face. It's part of me, you know. It's how I like being, and me having like also overly expressed eyebrows and having slits in them, like, it's just like individualism and self-expression. Like, I'm saying like too much. I think that we, as like the atheist community, let's call it that, like it's a very broad and overarching term. I think that we in the atheist, like, free thinking community, we put a lot of pressure on people who become a part of our community to be like hyper scientific and really factual, when I think that the thing that we miss out the most from being religious is individualism and individual self-expression, and that's what I would prefer to explore. I'm not a super scientific person. I've never been a super scientific person. I enjoy it when people, you know, talk to me and teach me about stuff. Like, I love Navadia. Mero teaches me stuff all of the time in her videos, but it's not necessarily something that I particularly like seek out. I prefer exploring myself. It's pretty plain and simple. And, you know, I like experimenting with the way I look and how I choose to dress and what I feel comfortable in. And I think that we as a community need to understand that just because, you know, science is important and dispelling religious myths is important, so too is individualism and self-expression. It's a way of being free, you know. It's how you present yourself. And I don't know. I'm making this comment because I just wish that there was more of a focus on it. And yeah, like I just wish there were more of us who were like cutting and coloring our hair and tattooing ourselves and like doing bombastic makeup looks, because I think it's interesting. Like, I would be more attracted to a person like that than just simply somebody. While I do love Mero and her content, like, before I met her, I didn't really watch her content, you know, being completely honest. Like, I love you, please don't take this as an offense, because I do genuinely love you. But I just wish that we had, you know, that too, you know, that side of things too. But anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Moving on, we're going to read some more hate comments. So there was a picture of me circulating, and I will just show the camera. It's just my profile picture, guys. Like, I can't be bothered with editing anything into this video. But there was a picture of me circulating, and some of the Muslim community that don't like me left me some wonderful content to use. So the original poster just said yikes, and yikes, I don't know what that means exactly, but I mean, I think I look fucking hot in this picture, so take that for what you will. I'm gonna say this person's username just because it made me laugh. His name is Bengali Mujahid, which is just like the most incel username I've seen in a very, very long time. And he says, she calls herself a purebred Bengali, but I keep mistaking her for a shaved monkey. I mean, we are descended from apes, so it's not exactly the worst criticism I've ever received, but I am a purebred Bengali, because unfortunately for me, my parents were first cousins, and I've done a DNA test. I am 100% Bengali. I am a purebred pedigree Bengali. Like, you can't find a purer Bengali than me. You just can't. And for those of you who are about to go, oh, well, you born in, I wasn't even born here. I was born in Bangladesh. I spent a significant amount of time in Bangladesh. I've, you know, bathed in a pond of slaughtered chickens. Like, I am as Bengali as they fucking get. Okay. Abdullah says, honestly, I feel like puking whenever I've seen her face. She always makes videos to bash Muslims for their tweets. LMAO, such an insecure and immature loser. I don't bash Muslims for their tweets. I bash stupid ideas and the way that they're presented and argued. He also added, please, someone sent me her YouTube channel and I've checked her videos and asked some people about her. They told me that she made some videos to bash people for their tweets. I seriously cringed very hard at this. That's why I want to puke when I saw her immature face. Maybe don't be looking at immature faces. Just FYI. Just FYI. Like, I know you guys accept your prophet for sexually abusing a child, but like, I wouldn't follow that, especially if you're living in like a Western country. You won't be able to get away with it. Anyways, let's look at some more hate comments. So Haram Police says, she's trans. It's another failed trans surgery. LOL. She's ugly as fuck. LOL. She needs to off herself, to be honest, for humanity well-being. First of all, thank you for saying that I look like I transitioned into being a woman, because honestly, I truly envy people who transition into being a woman, like trans women. I seriously envy it, because I don't know if I'm being controversial. I'm not trying to be, okay? It's just genuinely how I feel. But I genuinely envy trans women sometimes, because you don't have like the baggage of being a woman, like period pains and like dealing with periods, and it's mainly the periods thing. Like, I wish I could get rid of that. And like, I've seen some truly beautiful trans women. Like, you essentially get to be your idealized self, right? After you do all of your surgeries, you like get the tits you want, you like get the pussy you want, you like get the hair and the makeup and the face, and like I'm so flattered that some people think I'm trans. Like, I'm truly flattered. Like, even this like suggests that I'm trans or whatever, but like, that is such a compliment. And I don't think he meant it as a compliment, but it is such a compliment to me that people think that I'm trans. I don't live inside these people's heads. They live inside their own heads. Yeah, someone else said, I thought it was a baby-faced guy. That's how I steal all your girls. The last and final person that I would like to respond to is Agrippa. Now, I don't have personal beef with Agrippa, but the person that I do know does have personal beef with Agrippa is Sarah Michelle, and I love Sarah Michelle. I honestly think she's an angel, and I adore her, and I adore all of her content. She makes me laugh. She's a genuine friend, and she genuinely seems invested in me and my problems, and I am genuinely invested in hers. So this is why I think Agrippa thought that he could just waltz into my mentions and say whatever the fuck he wanted to me because he's an old man. Look, you're gonna act like a bitch, I'm gonna treat you like a bitch. That's how that works. That's why this entire channel exists. I do not take shit sitting down because I have the power of God and anime on my side. So I made a tweet in regards to like the first thing that we discussed in Simp Warfare, where people were telling me how to dress, and I made a tweet saying if I was a stick-thin, curveless little uwu girl, misogynists wouldn't have a problem with what I wear, but y'all aren't ready for that conversation. So my point with that tweet was like, because of the way that I dress, like I got big tits, I got a fat ass, like I'm a pretty beefy girl, you know, like I'm pretty beefy, and my thought process was like, if I wore like my cute little crop tops or my cute little tank tops and I had like no boobs and I was like thin, people would not have a problem with it. And I've seen it happen in action. Like I've seen girls who will dress like skimpier than me, right? I'm putting this in quotations because clothes are clothes, like I don't fucking care. But like I've seen girls dress skimpier than me, but they're skinnier than me, so like they don't get told off. But because I'm like a jiggly bitch, I for some reason I've got like this giant target painted on me, and I can't have that because I make other people uncomfortable. Like, bitch, nobody asked you to look the other way, lower your fucking gaze. It's not that fucking hard. I don't know why it's anybody's opinion, or I don't know why I'm so triggered also, but like I don't know why it's anybody's opinion what I wear, what anyone else wears. Like, you're not my fucking dad, you know? But Agrippa decided to say, opinions on your dress sense are allowed, or must everyone praise you no matter what you look like? He later tried to claim that he was just trying to have a conversation, but this is not how you make a first impression, because I've never really spoken to Agrippa before this, and this is a really, really shit first impression. You're already in my bad books because you constantly troll Sarah Michelle, and I love her, and we've established that already, but you're gonna try and tell me that you were trying to have a conversation with me by being fucking stupid and condescending. So I responded to him by saying, you're mad because I have an opinion on other people's opinion on how I should dress, which is true. Like, why are you fucking pressed, you know? And he goes, mad? You just asked for a conversation. Are you saying I'm not allowed to have an opinion on how you dressed? Your post is illogical. Have you met me? Have you seen all of my content? Most of the shit I say is illogical because I mostly post about my emotions, and emotions are largely illogical. You know, I post out of anger, I post out of rage. Maybe if you wanted to have a conversation, like maybe if you knew that, you wouldn't have started by trying to start a feud, you know? But, you know, bitches be stupid. I don't know. I don't fucking know. And I did not ask for a conversation. I said that no one's ready for that conversation, and you certainly weren't. And you certainly weren't trying to have a conversation. You were looking for an easy target to post some bullshit. And that's all you wanted. And he also said some other shit, but we'll get to that. I said, I'm sorry, passive aggression is generally seen as negative. Like, it's in the few cases that I would say that it isn't seen as negative is when you know the person, like you fuck with them, you know, like you know this person, and therefore like your passive aggression isn't received poorly. But if you don't know somebody and you're immediately passive aggressive, like what the fuck do you expect, really? And I said, must everyone praise you doesn't exactly translate as, hey, let's talk. And he also said, there are defined levels of what is fashionable and not fashionable. Simple metrics. This is not an opinion on anything more than if you have fashionable taste or not. Okay, first of all, I'm a living, breathing fashion icon. Look at me. look at my room. I am a living, breathing icon of fashion, okay? Secondly, the tweet had very little to do the fuck with fashion. It had to do with enlightened men, such as we have here, dropping their distaste for the hijab while also stating that they have an issue with me dressing in an unconservative way. And I don't exactly understand why a much older man, I'm not going to assume the age, but I know much older at this point, a much older man is trying to school me on fashion. I wouldn't imagine that that is a particular hobby of yours, or interest for that matter. I added, but you would know that if you actually wanted a conversation instead of some weird power trip where you, a faceless person online, tell me off for fashion. I am very much on the route to naturalism because I believe that clothes are accessories, so fashion has very little to do with the way I choose to cover my body, but I see how you could be mistaken because I am unequivocally, like it's not up for debate, a fashion icon. The last thing he said is, maybe tag me if you want a conversation. You asked for one. It would seem that that is not the case. It would seem that ain't nobody asked for your opinion, old man. Ain't nobody asked for your fucking opinion. I'm not saying you can't say it because clearly you're able to, but ain't nobody asked for your damn opinion. I don't particularly stray away from conversation. I enjoy conversation. I enjoy arguments. I also enjoy trolling. You're fucking welcome. But if your first impression is to be condescending, rude, and just weird, I don't know what exactly you expect from me aside from pure distaste and disdain and an argument. I said, lastly, I'm always down for a conversation, but if you don't want a petty bitch fight on Twitter, then maybe don't fucking start one. You see that? How does that fucking feel? And then he said some shit about whining, like I'm over it, but Agrippa, stay in your motherfucking lane, okay? I think between the two of us, you a faceless Twitter user / YouTube user, and me, an actual fucking living goddess, I think that between the two of us, I think we can agree that fashion is more my lane than yours. Anyways, that's all we have for this week's Simple Warfare. I hope it was marginally entertaining, marginally informative, and yeah, I'm gonna be in Liverpool in a few hours and I'm super fucking excited, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. I'm sure we'll make some videos with Saf, and I don't know, I'm just like really excited to have some company after like a really long time just by myself, except for when I was in Jimmy's house. Like I had company then, I deeply appreciated that, but it's been like a hot minute, and like the last few weeks have been super stressful, so it will be nice to spend some time with another human being and like just get some cool pictures, you know. Like I'm very tired and excited. So yeah, thank you for joining me for this week's Simple Warfare. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and you know, if you come across a stupid argument online where you feel like you were slighted or you were being an idiot, please do hashtag it with the word Simple Warfare and I will cover it on my show. So yeah, I will see you in the next video. I don't know when it's gonna be, so don't fucking ask me, but it will be coming sometime soon, I'm sure, because I genuinely like doing this. I'm just feeling a little erratic, so it's gonna take like a little bit more time for me to get out of this funk. But yeah, I will talk to you guys soon, and goodbye.